We're going to read some stories and play survival in Minecraft. Bring something to eat or drink, and let's get started. Story 1: The Locked Apartment. Already written, included for completeness. I moved into my new apartment last month. It was a small studio in a quiet building, nothing fancy, but cheap and close to work. On my first night, I noticed the door to the old storage room on my floor was slightly ajar. I shrugged it off, thinking maybe the janitor forgot to close it. The next day, I asked the building manager about it, and he said, "That room's been locked for years. Don't go in there." Curiosity got the better of me. That night, I grabbed a flashlight and approached the door. I pushed it gently, and to my surprise, it opened. Inside, the room was empty except for an old chair in the center facing the wall. On the chair sat a leather-bound notebook. I picked it up and flipped it open. The pages were filled with handwriting, but it wasn't like normal handwriting. It was jagged, almost like it was written in a frenzy. The entries described someone watching people in the building. They knew when tenants would leave, who had visitors, even what people were dreaming. At first I thought it was some kind of horror story, but then I recognized my own name. Someone had been watching me. My heart started racing. I slammed the notebook shut and ran back to my apartment. That night, I kept hearing soft scratching noises outside my door, like someone tapping. I called the manager in the morning and asked him to check the room again. He froze when I mentioned the notebook. You opened it?" he asked quietly. I nodded. He explained that the previous tenant had vanished mysteriously. Police never found him, and rumors said he had gone insane after writing down everyone's private lives. I laughed nervously, thinking it was just a story. But later that day, I found another notebook slipped under my door. This one was blank. Now every night I hear scratching outside my door, and every morning a new page appears in the notebook describing everything I did while asleep. I don't know who's watching or why, but I do know one thing. The apartment building isn't quiet, and I'm not alone. Story 2: The Vanishing Hitchhiker. It was late October, and I was driving home from a friend's party. The road was almost empty, fog rolling across the asphalt like a ghost. I saw a girl on the side of the road, wearing a tattered coat, looking lost. My instincts told me not to stop, but something compelled me. "Hey, do you need a ride?" I asked. She nodded silently and got into the passenger seat. I noticed her hands were ice cold, and she didn't speak. The whole ride, she stared straight ahead, never moving or blinking. I tried to make small talk, but she didn't respond. After about 15 minutes, I reached her supposed destination, an old, abandoned house on the outskirts of town. "This is me," she whispered finally. Her voice was soft, like it came from far away. I looked over, and she was gone. The seatbelt was still fastened, but the seat was empty. Shocked, I slammed the brakes. I ran around the car, checking the area, but she had vanished completely. I called the police, but they said no one had lived in that house for decades. The next morning, I found a single white glove on my passenger seat, damp with dew. I've never picked up hitchhikers since, and every time I drive past that road, I see a shadowy figure in the fog, waiting, silent, always watching. Story 3: The Basement Door. When I was a kid, my family moved into a new house with a strange feature, a door in the basement that was nailed shut. My dad said it led to a storage crawl space, but the nails were weirdly thick, as if someone had really wanted to keep it closed. Curiosity is a dangerous thing at 10 years old. One afternoon, I pried the nails loose and opened the door. Inside was darkness, thick, choking darkness, and the smell of wet earth. I thought I heard whispering at first, then I realized it was my own name being called. I ran upstairs and told my parents, but they laughed it off. "Basements make weird noises, honey." That night I swore I heard footsteps in the basement, moving closer to my bedroom door. Weeks later, my parents installed a new lock, but the whispers never stopped. They came in my dreams, always calling me to open the door. One night, I woke up to the sound of someone breathing at the foot of my bed. I couldn't move, and then I heard it. come back. I never went to the basement again, but sometimes, when the house is quiet, I hear the scratching of nails against wood, and I remember the voice calling my name, inviting me back. Story 4: The Package. I ordered something online, a cheap collectible figurine, just to pass the time. It was supposed to arrive in a week, but 2 days later, a plain brown package appeared on my doorstep. No return address. I hesitated but opened it. Inside was a small, hand-carved wooden doll that looked eerily familiar. It resembled me, or at least, how I might look in 10 years. Along with it was a note. "I see you." I laughed nervously, assuming it was a prank. But that night I noticed the doll had moved. Its head was turned slightly, and its eyes seemed to follow me. I put it on my shelf and tried to ignore it. Over the next few days, more packages arrived. Each one contained a new doll, more detailed, more lifelike, and a note that seemed to know what I had done that day. One night, I woke up to all the dolls surrounding my bed, staring at me. I called the police. They couldn't trace the packages. No fingerprints, no security footage, nothing. And now every day I find a new doll in a random place. My car, my mailbox, even in my shower. And I know one day I won't be able to escape the person who is sending them. Story 5: The Cabin in the Woods. Last summer, my friends and I rented a cabin deep in the woods. The owner warned us, "Don't go near the old trail behind the cabin at night. Strange things happen there." Naturally, that's the first place we went. The trail was overgrown, almost like it hadn't been used in decades. As we walked, we found strange symbols carved into the trees. They glowed faintly in the moonlight, like someone had etched them with fire. We heard rustling behind us. At first, we thought it was a deer. Then, a figure appeared in the distance, tall, hunched, moving unnaturally. We ran back to the cabin, but the figure followed, never breaking the tree line. That night, we heard knocking on the cabin windows, slow and deliberate. We barricaded ourselves inside, but the knocking never stopped. When dawn came, we finally left, only to see footprints leading from the trail to the front door, but none leading away. We never returned to that cabin. But every time I see trees with strange carvings, I feel that same presence, watching, waiting. And I know that wherever I go, the woods remember me. Story 6: The Reflection. It started when I noticed something odd in the bathroom mirror. I was brushing my teeth late one night, and for a split second, my reflection didn't move with me. I froze, staring at it, but it quickly mirrored me again. I shrugged, thinking it was my imagination. The next night, I saw it again, clearer this time. My reflection smiled when I didn't. I dropped the toothbrush, and the sound echoed strangely. My reflection didn't reach for it. Instead, it waved at me. I ran out of the bathroom, shaking. Over the next few days, I avoided mirrors. But at work, in the elevator, the reflective stainless steel panels caught my eye. And there it was, my reflection, waiting, sometimes mimicking me perfectly, sometimes doing something different, writing in the air with its finger, mouthing words I couldn't hear. One night, I woke up to my bedroom light flickering. I looked toward the dresser mirror. My reflection wasn't there. Panic gripped me until I realized it was behind me in the room. I spun around, empty, but in the mirror, I saw it standing closer than before, grinning. I covered all the mirrors in my apartment, but shadows in reflective surfaces, windows, spoons, even my phone screen, started moving independently. It whispers to me now, calling me to step closer, to swap places. I haven't slept properly in weeks. Sometimes when I close my eyes, I see it, staring at me from the darkness. I don't know how long it will wait, but I know one thing. One day, my reflection will stop copying me, and I won't be able to stop it from taking over.